Okay, in this video, we're going to be exploring the task management systems within both the Trace and the Kiveev platform interfaces. This is a reminder for anyone who hasn't seen this before. Trace interface and Kiveev interface both look at the same database, so they share data. So Trace is the portfolio management system and more your high-level, sort of simple overview of cost and consumption for maybe an on-site user, where they can also put in meter reads. Kiveev being your more analytical system for your more expert user, whether you are in a trading risk management position, whether you're in accounts position, debt management, whether you're budgeting, forecasting, doing accruals, or whether you're looking at consumption analysis at company portfolio site level in more detail. I say Kiveev's sort of the system for you. But obviously, regardless of stakeholder, we're going to be collaborating on tasks all the way through. So we need one task system that can be viewed from both sides of the system, especially where you're using both sides in day to day, because stakeholders can cross over between the two. So we have the trace side of the system. So accessing this task system from the home page or from any page, whether you're in portfolio, site level, what have you. The task system is at the top here. We've got 5 tasks so we're running at the moment. We can filter down to only showing 4 tasks here created within this date range. We can say just show me tasks from a specific portfolio, building of a particular type, with a particular owner, creator, etc. So you can filter to just things that are owned by you at the time, or owned by a particular user. And say the table here is going to identify for us the job ID, so the unique ID that the system gives to it, the type of task, the company portfolio site that's assigned to, the meter or meters involved, the supplier if it's a change of tenancy, the creator of the task, the current owner, and the assigned users. So there's different concepts here. So user 1 can be the creator of a task, assign it to users 2, 3, and 4, but then maybe user 3 is the current owner because they're the one who needs to do something at this time. They can then transfer ownership to user 4, transfer it to user 3, and then come back to user 1 for completion. So it's a very great way of sort of collaborating across the piece. There's a deadline date and a next deadline or a next milestone. So you can say, I want this report by the end of the month. The next milestone might be there's a task, in 5 days' time, we need a draft of the document, and user 2 is responsible and the current owner for achieving that. Then you might have a next milestone 5 days after that for user 3 to review the report or whatever it might be, all working through that final deadline date displayed here, which we have a countdown to. For a summary of the task, various stages. So some of the tasks like change of tenancies or notice of termination will all have different stages. You can also sort of set up your own bespoke processes as well. So you can have a checkbox to say we're 2 out of 3 complete. Escalation levels is a great way of, within the system, being able to identify that this task needs to be escalated from a standard level to a manager or to a director. And obviously anything marked as director, as NTP company director, will be looking at. There's a created date, last modified date, so we can track when, if you're looking at 100 tasks, which ones have been updated since I last came in, and we can refine the search to that as well. So if we go into the view details on this meter issue task, as we can see here, you've got a details section where we can fill them out. You can set up reminders. So we're saying here that we want a reminder 1 day before the milestone. We can change that to 1 day, past the milestone if we want to, or so once past the milestone, so the day after, or we can say daily, once that milestone is passed, we want a reminder email coming out. Or we can say at the milestone, so on the day of the milestone, I want an email coming back. We've got our checklist here, which we can build onto, so we can add additional items onto it to be able to sort of bespoke this task to whatever we need it to be. And then we can add additional notes to the task as well, and just carry on making a document, documenting how the process has gone when we've been working through this one. I say in the same way, we can just check those tasks off, save that, and then it's going to track here that we've got 2 of 4 complete. This task is of medium importance, so it's yellow. We've got one here, a general task, which is slightly higher importance, so it's an orange. If we take this new connection, and say we can change this quite readily. So we say priority low, it's now gone to the highest priority. So therefore it's now marked as red visually on this report. If we want to go to add a new task, then we can do tasks of all sorts of types. So we can do a bill issue, we can say invoice, we can pick exactly where this problem is occurring. So demo site 1, and then a particular meter, and then give some detail as to what the issue might be. Set our deadline date. By the end of the year, we want this to be sorted, and we'll maybe say by the 10th is our next deadline to get the task moving. So standard escalation level, so we don't need to escalate to the manager or director yet. And then before the milestone, so 2 days before the milestone, we're going to get a reminder. We're going to assign this task to Vanessa and Noel and demo user. So we've got 3 assigned users, but then we're going to make Vanessa the current owner because we want Vanessa to do something. Priority medium, build the task out, and this is where we can start adding, checklist items. 1, 2, 3, and then add some notes as we go. And if we just add the task, that note will get saved. So we've got our bill issue task here. So we can come back into it, check off our checklist as we move, add notes, trace. So we save that down. And so we've got those saved in there. If we then move across into the Kiveev side of the platform, and we apply the filter, we can see that bill issue task that we've just created in Trace is immediately popping up in the Kiveev side. We've got our assigned users, our creator, and then we've got our summary here, and we can come in, we can see our checklist, with a progress bar on the Kiveev side of things, so we can see how far we are progressing through this. Say we move that to 3 out of 3, we're complete, and then we can put some notes on from the Kiveev side, and then we're going to save that task down. So we hit an error on that one, but it should be fine. So on the side of things, so we can go back in there. We've got our notes from Kiveev as they've been coming over, so we can collaborate back and forth between the 2 sides of the system. And as I say, on the Kiveev side as well, we can also go in and add new tasks in exactly the same way. And we purposefully try to keep the two sides of the system in this regard as similar as possible, so that it's easy to move between the 2. Okay. One thing to point out, a very important part of this process, is this is also how we run change of tenancies within the system. So if you wanted to add a new change of tenancy task, we can say COT out, and then we pick our site and our portfolio. So just find one that's got some contracts in. This will automatically push the deadline out for us. And I say this deadline is designed to encompass everything from sending the COT out, getting confirmation from the supplier that it's been done, getting contracts sorted and shut down if it's a COT out, and then getting final bills in as well. But as I say, we can put our next deadline in for maybe gathering the data and sending it all out. Set up reminder types, assign it to different users as we've done before, and add task details. So you can build that task out, and then what will happen will be that you're immediately going to the data gathering process. But as I say, we can say once we're ready to send, we can change that stage down. We can say that the COT handover date was actually in October. Mark off that we want to send it to the supplier and send it to the MOP if there's a MOP in place, and then the building details will pull from the site that we've done, and then also we have the company name of the existing company pulling through from the demo site. So you can see here we've got a couple of bits of detail pulling through from the demo site here. But let's say in this demo we haven't got it all fully filled out, so we'll just go through and we'll fill those out just as we go. some address details in. And then, so this is the existing occupier. Say most of this will pull originally from the trace database. And then the new occupier, you fill in who it's going to, their company details, their phone number if we have it, and then obviously addresses, address details. We can upload files to support the change of tenancy, proof of different tenancy details or lease renewals, lease end dates. We can add additional emails in there as well. And then we've got all the meters that are on site, and you can see 2 of the meters have already been COT'd out, various points in time. So it's just this one here that we want to be changing, COTing away. You've got the current supplier that the contract's with. So we're just going to choose that one as our meter. Next stage is going to be to get the final meter read, and we might not have that at the time of creating the task. So we'll just go ahead and just add the task into the system now, and it's in here immediately in the list. Once we have that detail for the meter read, we come back in and we see that just the meter that we've selected is displaying now. So we filtered out all the other meters, but we can filter those back on if we've missed a meter off and we want to put it in. So we'll add our meter reading in. And now that's good to go. We've got all the information we need to send off. We can add a photo if we want to, just by clicking on the add photo option, and we'll upload that straight into the system. And you can see here we haven't got an option to send yet because we haven't told the system that we're ready to go. So if we come up a little bit and we go ready to send, now our send button is available. Before we do that, I will change this to a different supplier, to a demo supplier, so we don't end up sending erroneous emails to energy suppliers with COTs. So we'll click send on that, and looks like we've got an error. Carried away with our meter read numbers. There we go. So say this whole form is validated. So if you've got any missing information, email addresses don't look like email addresses, that sort of thing, then we manage the process through, and we can identify if anything's gone wrong. So that's now going to send an email off to the energy supplier, to the MOP, and to myself as the user who's done it, and to a central email box. And then it's changed the status there to sent awaiting confirmation, and we can work through that and come back to it as and when we've got confirmation. So supplier comes back with a confirmation, we mark that as confirmed, we can upload their confirmation. The email that was sent by the system is already stored in there, so we can click to view that, and we've automatically made a note in here that the COT was sent on the date and time it was done and the meters that were included. Once they come back with a confirmation, say we can upload that here, and then we're just waiting for final bill. So the status has automatically changed to confirm awaiting final bills. And as soon as there's an invoice in the system, so there's a COT out, as soon as there's an invoice in the system that ends on the 1st of October 2022, then it will automatically tick that as final bill received. The other thing that's happening in the back of the system at the same time, as you can see immediately when that COT was sent, the meter number is now noted with COT now 1st of October 2022 to name, because that's the company name that we added here. Any contract that meter was in will now be marked as ending on the 1st of October 2022 rather than the previous end date, and the contract and meter will both have notes applied to them that a COT was sent. So it's all audit tracked and it's all automatically shut down. The meter will also be now not marked as procuring within our database, so that the ZTB procurement team won't procure for that meter again, but it will be left as validating because we're waiting on that final bill to arrive. So we can save that down. And then the final things to show in this demo are the reports. So we can export, we can either do what's in view. So if we just download that, take a look at this file, and you can see here in the download, you've got a line per task, and it's everything that was in that table that we just saw. But in addition, we've got the last note that was added on that task. So you can see exactly what's been happening, what the last stage was. If you want something a bit more detailed, so you want to run a report for something like change of tenancies, we can run a special task report. Special task report type is COTs. We'll download this. And this report, rather than having one line per task, actually has one line per meter. So we've got a couple of meters here going through change of tenancy, and this is the one that we were just doing on screen, and we can see COT task. But in addition to the details that are in the table, we've got things like incoming company name, outgoing company name, progress update, the AQ if we've added it in, any comments. We've also got the most recent note in there, the supplier it's going to, days to deadline, all the dates as well. So this is a great report to be able to send to suppliers, obviously filter by supplier, send them off their report and ask for an update on all the COTs that we currently have live. Once that comes back, we can note against all those tasks within the system. So it's very much sort of a way of managing COTs en masse, but having a way that everyone can, all the stakeholders that need to, can come in and view the updates. Okay, thank you very much for your time, and thanks for watching.